So let's create our next animation for our human. We're going to get him to wave. Now obviously we don't have any proper hands to wave with, but we're just going to wave our arms. So this is going to be another arm animation. Let's have a look at how we can do this. Apologies there. There we go. Okay, so we've got our previous animation. And at the end of the last animation, I challenged you to finish this animation. So let's just have a quick look at where we were. Raises the arms. Excellent. So, if we click on an animation and hit delete, we can delete keyframes. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to delete all these keyframes. And one more. And sometimes if you're not careful, what it will do is it will actually rest your rig where your last keyframe was deleted, which is what's happened here. Now this is useful for me actually because I'm going to keep this right arm up. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to frame 1 and I'm going to grab this IK bone, I'm going to grab and I'm just going to bring my IK bone down here. Now I'm just going to grab this elbow bone and just move it around a little bit. Move this to the side, make sure I've got the correct one grabbed, just move that in. And the reason why I'm doing this is just to make it a little bit more of a natural look. So we've got our arm down here, we've got our waving arm up here, and we're going to select everything and we're going to press I, insert location rotation scale. Now we need to perform a waving motion, so it's not just raising our arms once, we're going to do this several times. So we need to figure out at what frames we perform the top and bottom of the animation, because we're going to do this several times. So at the moment in Blender we're going at about 24 frames per second. So I'm looking at possibly, let's try doing it in 12. So I'm going to select frame 12 and I'm going to grab and make sure it's extended, and we're just going to go like this really. That's all we're really going to do. So we're going to bring it down here slightly, select everything, I, location rotation scale, and not too bad. So next what we're going to do is we're going to select, if we just bring this, what I'm trying to do at the moment is I'm going to try and bring the dope sheet up, and then I'm going to bring the timeline up a little bit. So the next step is we're going to duplicate the first keyframe with Shift D, and then we want to move that to 24. There we go. And if we go back to the beginning, excellent. So we've got the first part of our waving motion. We want to do that another time or two. So we're going to, for this we're going to Shift D again, and we're going to move this one up to 48. And then we're going to grab this keyframe, which is our second keyframe at keyframe 12, Shift D, move that up to 32, I believe. No, it's going to be 36. So if we zoom in a little bit here, we can see how it's developing. Let's see from the beginning what we've got so far. Excellent, and we can see him repeating because that animation repeats as soon as it reaches the end. Excellent. So there we go, we've got a waving human. Fantastic. Obviously this is a fairly simple animation, but this is the first time where you look to repeat motions repeatedly. So you could continue this motion again, so I could stop and I'm going to extend this to, if shall we say, 90. And then I'm going to press Shift D to 60, and that's 1 too far, so I'm going to press G to grab that keyframe and move it back a frame. Then I'm going to select this one and move it so it hits 72. There we go. If you're finding it difficult to follow along, guys, don't forget to use the Udemy controls. You can always go backwards to have a look at what's going on. But basically what we've got here is we've got 2 keyframes, one at keyframe 1, one at keyframe 12, and then each of these 2 keyframes are duplicated roughly 23 to 24 frames down the line. So frames 1, 24, 48 and 72 will all be the exact same keyframe. Likewise, the keyframes at frames 12, 36 and 60 will be all the same keyframes. So let's go back and have a look. Excellent. And we can always shorten this down to, say, 73. Let's add an extra frame after it, and if we play it from here, then we can see it's near continuous. If we wanted it to be completely continuous, could we go 1 less to 72? Let's see what that does. Making sure that it's going in the right direction. Excellent. So we've got pretty much a continuous wave. There we go.